Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
If you can just start with just giving overview of the end to end process that will we have already discussed about end to end the goals that we are talking about now. How to set up the organization goals or individual goals. We discuss about it. We will look into that. We will start from goals. That's the beginning point. Before setting up into goals, we have to set up normally how we want to. Utilize the goals section. Here we can see there are multiple different options. The first one you can see configure individual goals. What are the fields that we want to populate and how we want to have the UI side. Here you can see minimum actual target, maximum completed. What are the options that we want to give? When we set up the goals, what are the different options within the goal that we want to have them? For example, if I want to set up some target criteria or anything, for that perspective, how things work, that is something which mainly we do here. Normally, let me duplicate this tab and let me show you. Probably there are multiple ways of doing one thing. That's the various options that we have. Let's take an example. If you want to look anything with respect to talent, you can go to the related actions and you can look things from here. For example, view goals, add goals to employee. Talking about this, add goals to employee or view goals. Within the view goals section, you can look into what are the goals that this worker is had add goals to employee. This will come only for managers. This task will be only for managers. For example, I'm a manager. I want to add some goals to my reportees. I will get these options. Let's go to the view. Goals section, how normally goals look. For example, you can see here 2020 Workday implementation. This is one of the goals. This is with respect to organization profitability and performance objective. There can be different criteria that can be set up. For example, let's look into this tool. You can see the goal details here. This is the goal link optimize employee engagement. Within the description section, they have written specific description status. What is the status of this goal normally? What happens is at the initial stage, whenever we set up the goal, we have different status. Normally, we started with in progress. Once it gets completed, we updated successfully, completed category. There are different goals that we add up or add on if in case we want to do the categorization of those specific goals. We can create goal categories as organization alignment. If this goal is with respect to any, if in case this goal is coming through the hierarchy level, that will reflect over here. This is normally how the goals will look for any respective individual. Any additional delete if in case there is any details that we set up for the goals that we create. I will show you how the goals will look are created, but this is from the end user perspective how things look. After that, I will come back to you and I will show you how the goals are mainly created. Talking about the archived goal section, I have already told you the goals which are completed. Organization goals. There are two types of goals we will set up as the organization basically. One is organization goals and second one is individual goals. Being a manager, I can set up an individual goal only for you. The task that I showed you, after going to the worker in the talent section, we had add goals to employee. Those goals will be respective to that. Those goals will come under an individual goal section. Talking about the organization goals, these goals will get automatically linked with the workers depending upon the criteria that we set up while creating the organization. Level goals. The task remains simple, straightforward, create organization goals. Create individual goals. Talking about the person that I am logged in, his manager level. That is the reason why I am going to see a create goal for worker. Normally, when you go and try to create a goal for worker, you can see you can mention the goal name. Description, what is the status, what is the category or any organization alignment that we want to have here. Now talking about who does this organization goal setting, it will come from the top management. Organization goals. I want to link it with any organization. Let's take an example, sales organization or any other respective organization. We can use that. But what I'm asking, that is organization goal is set up on a support level or is it at a top level? At the top level, maybe let's take an example. It depends. But mainly if you will ask me talking about the organization goal, mainly it is set up at the top level of the organization. And that flows down to the entire organization. Yes, there can be multiple scenarios talking about the organization goals. 4 or 5 goals remain same for all the employees in the company. But talking about, I want to set up the organization level goals for respective supervisory organization for sales department. The organization roles might be some additional ones. One additional goal I want to set up only for the sales department. One additional goal at the organization level that I want to set up might be at, that is also, we can do it. It completely depends upon how we want to set that up. This is maintain goals, basically maintain goals setup. Whenever we configure organization goals, how we want to use the options that pop up here. Or what are the options that comes into picture? Normally how we want to write on organization, goal description or field. If in case you do not want to have the option of organization goal description field, normally I showed you. Normally talking about here, we have in the goal section, we saw the description part. For example, when we are creating a goal, we can see the description. That description part. Let's take an example. I don't want to have this description field. I can use this and I can use this. I can uncheck this. If in case I want to show this, I will check this. Organization alignment section. Similarly, if in case I do not want to use this organization alignment section, I can hide this. Normally, talking about the goal setup here, there are different options that we have. Where in pitch, we can use it accordingly. Talking about organization. Goal allows organization alignment through hierarchy. Talking about the organization goals, that mainly works based on the hierarchical level. If you assign anything at the top level, it will come down to the bottom level. No doubt I already said bottom. If in case we do not want to use that, we can uncheck it. After, in case we uncheck this will allow only for the organization that we are selecting, only to that specific organization. Default organization goal to private, talking about the organization goal that is common for all the workers. But if in case I want to keep that as a private, only specific members can look into that, I can privatize that. That's similarly talking about enable percent complete if in case we want to mention in terms of percentage 1%, 50%, 70%. Likewise, we can enable that allow. Automatic calculation of percent complete, there are different criteria wherein we can set up depending upon the percentage that it gets completed. Likewise, similarly configure goal in reviews, lock goal associated with in progress. Review. This is what something we want to lock the goals after you get. That you cannot make any changes once the goals is initiated, and that gets into the in progress section. Allow deletion of goal associated with reviews. If in case I want to allow for deleting the goals that I have created with respect to which goes into the review side. This will give you better idea if in case they ask you for anything with respect to goals. This is what I'm expecting. This is what I'm expecting. From here you can look into the criteria, what can be done and what cannot be done. These were all goal setting for organizational goals or individual goals. The first section that you saw, this is only for organizational goals, and the second is overall. The second one is configure goals in review when the goals are in review section. Review section. Once the goals are in review stage, at that point of time this will work. Got it? Makes sense. Let's setting for that. After the review, allow ordering of goals in review. Let's take an example. You have multiple goals. If you want to order the goals first, this goal should pop up. After that second, this goal should pop up. If in case you want to set it up in likewise, you can use this checkbox. After that, we have maintain goal units. Talking about the goals that we are setting up, what is the unit? In which way we want to set up the goal? That is mainly done using maintain goal units. Normally, you can go to this respective tasks in your production tenant and you can review. How things are set up in your scenario. After this class, I'll go over there and check everything. You can go look into that. Or what are the organization goals? These are the various with respect to meetings, with respect to incidents. Let's take an example. You are a consultant. I want to check based on how many incidents you have solved. If in case anything is related to customer service with respect to customer response that you can call. Boxes can be related to maybe for someone who is into the delivery side. This is 9 items predefined or it is. Can add also here. The one wherein you can add as many as you want as per your requirement where you see. We do not have the minus symbol. Those are work delivered. Those were created by someone but someone has already used the use got it. Any go units in use. You cannot delete if in case it is used. You do not have an option to delete. I got it, makes sense. Pretty much configurable. Goal and go units. Correct. Meetings. After that we have main goal. Set up main goal. Payout pack. How does? Can you show me also? How does goal units looks in? To the user front end. that I will show you when we will configure the whole part. Let's go step by step. Perfect. If you can see the payout band, here again you have different options. For example, target only, minimum, maximum, in whichever way you want to set up. Similarly, we have configured talent tags. Talking about this, configured talent tags. Talent tags are mainly used. Let's take an example. Want to link the goals to competencies or any development items, for example. Configure talent. Talking about this talent tags, you can see this is the development item, this is the feedback, and this is the goal. If in case I want to link the goals that I'm creating with respect to competencies or development items or feedbacks, normally what will happen is when you configure the goals, you want to mention this goal is with respect to competencies. There is one goal that you are creating with respect to development item. Talking about in real time in scenario. In Workday, we have an option to get feedback or to assign some development plan. If in case there are some respective goals wherein which I want to link with these three, we have these options. These all are Workday delivered. According to you, we can use that. You cannot create these. These are Workday delivered. These are Workday delivered. After that, we have maintained GUI characteristics. Whatever I'm briefing, you can go back to the tenant, and when you will review, you will have much better idea. I'll do that after the class. This is a recorded class. I can go step by step. After that, what will happen is, normally, once you have the sandbox, I will show you how the goals are created, how in your system. Only in your sandbox system, only I will show you how things will work. Talking about within the goal, we saw the category section. I want to categorize the goals part. They may be for customer based. I can create multiple goals. If, in case, you categorize the goal for simplifying it for the reporting purpose or for the management purpose, we create goal categories and link the related goals within. One sec. This is something which is important. Maintain goal periods. The goal that I'm creating is which period and which period I want to use. That is for that purpose. Can you see here? Define the goals with respect to years. Talking about the goals that I'm creating, that is of which year? 2010, 2009, or in the description and starting. Because every year the goals changes, based on that we are going to do, can configure it accordingly. After that, we have maintained goal completion status. Talking about, we already look when we are setting up the goal, in progress, completed. But if in case, the client wish to have something of their own, here you can see incomplete, partially complete, successfully completely, not started. Just started, not applicable. Just remember one thing, if any status is already being used, you cannot delete that. I got it makes sense here. But you can add more status. Basically, but they cannot delete because they're. But when we do. Actually, in real time, if I would say there had been never a scenario wherein we have to add any new status. Because talking about the maximum, those are already there. Already there. Normally you don't touch them. Correct. But can we delete? Suppose they are in use for that particular period. I'm just throwing an idea that if I'm doing a goal setting for 2025, this will carry forward as it is, or I can. It will carry forward. It can't change. Basically, next year also. Correct. That's the reason why you're talking about the standardized, because see why you cannot delete it. Anything in Workday, there is one simple room. Anything that has been used, either in the past or in the present, that is there in someone's worker history or worker data, there is somewhere it is there in the past. If in case we have an option to delete it, just imagine in the reporting aspect when I am checking for any worker in the past related data that should pop up if in case I'm deleting it. Should be deleted throughout the system. That's what the meaning of delete normally. What you will observe is in Workday mainly, we have an option with respect to business, process or anything. Either we have an option of inactivating it, we can inactivate that, or we have an option of reset once anything is completed. Get this two option, but we will never get delete option once. That is it. But I see that this can be inactive. Basically, if you don't want to use it, you can put inactive for future. Yes, correct. Let's take an example. What is the use of inactive? If you inactive anything, it will not pop up. I'm setting up a goal. I have already set up a goal. When I'm going, I will have multiple options from this status. I will have all these options. But I want the employer should not see all these options. Employer should only see incomplete and successfully complete. What I will do is I will inactivate all rest of them, except successfully complete and not complete. This can be set up for both separately managers and individual. This is for throughout, for everybody. Correct. Throughout. Makes sense. Now talking about, let's look into how normally the goals are created. The organization was before creating the goals, you should have already this thing set up. Anyway, in your case it would already be there set up. Not an issue. What was that function? Maintain goals. Maintain goal setup. It's been already done. Show the systems. And this training system is always that it's too difficult to navigate. You have to select the organization first. I am selecting. Let's take an example global. This is for organization goal. Basically, after that you have to define the goal period. For which goal period you are mainly setting it up. We do this every year, beginning of the year. Yes. After that, here you will get an option to add whatever number of goals you want to add. You can see the goal part. You can see the percent complete organization alignment supporting. Initiative private calculated. All these options will pop. What is calculated? I will come back to that one. By the way, talking about this goal, this should be the goal name. This is only the mandatory field. Why the reason being other fields are not mandatory is there might be a scenario because see the goal can be anything. Please do your job on time. Complete your work on time or whatsoever. There can be different types of goals. You can name it anything if there is anything. In description, with respect to that you can add on here, normally talking about this percentage. Percentage complete, percentage complete. Mainly, this allows to anyone to mention. What is the percentage that they have completed? Maybe the goal starts during the start of the year. Maybe after some portion is completed, the employee can go ahead and he can go update. Normally, talking about the percentage complete, I have seen very less clients who have been using that because this is again a manual work and no one tracks during midterm of the year in between. But there might be some goals wherein percentage comes into picture. In that scenario, you can utilize that. Talking about what all options we have enabled, accordingly will pop up here. Default organization. If we enable EJ and everything, it will pop up accordingly. Let's take an example test, organization alignment. Normally here we get online only those. Organizations mainly this, talking about organization alignment. This is mainly used to link the organization goals to goals that are mainly one or more level up in the organization hierarchy. Global support benefits within the organization alignment hierarchy. This will give me an option to link this organization goal that I'm creating to other goals at one level above. If in case you do not want to link this organization goal with respect to any of the above organization, you have an option not to use this. Normally, this option will only pop up when you use this organization alignment checkbox. Talking about supporting initiatives. Normally, supporting initiative that comes into picture, different clients use it for a different purpose. But talking about this one, this is supposed to be used. Let's take an example where there are not a scenario where it's already associated with something. Let's take an example. If in case there are any. Let's take an example. Anything new comes up in the company. Part of any new initiative, let's take an example. Some organization came into picture. All employees will be agile methodology. If I'm giving you an example with respect to MNC, and we are targeting that all of them will become agile, certified or anything to define. There can be different initiatives that we can create, and we can make that organization goal part of those initiatives. Did you get it? I got it. That particular organization goal is supporting that initiative or not. Suppose an organization is there, they decided by next end of the year, we are starting an agile practice for each individual, each organization level. That particular goal is supporting that initiative or not. That's what we are deciding here. Correct. Talking about this private section, if in case this will come only into picture when I talk about this supporting initiative, that is enabled. If in case you disable this, it will not pop up. Talking about private section, how it privates is only if in case you enable this, it will only be visible to only those members who are the part of this organization chain. They can only see this tool. And flow down also inherited basically organizations as talking about calculated one. Mainly this is used in case of Workday, mainly. If in case you choose the select checkbox category, calculated mainly Workday enable, we have the percentage complete. If in case you use this, Workday will automatically calculate regarding the percentage complete. How does it calculate automatically? It will calculate based on the time duration that you mentioned over there. But how does it calculate that it's really completed that percentage? See, normally the goals. We are defining the goal. We have a period depending upon that, it will auto calculate. Normally, this is something which normally we do normally. Let's take an example. Only based on the period it will calculate, but not actual work. Is done or not? Yes, correct. That is one of the main reasons why we mainly do not prefer this calculated option. Correlation, it doesn't. Real time, it doesn't calculate how much somebody has achieved the goal. Let's take an example. You have set up a goal, customer relation. How it will automatically calculate? That's not feasible. Not feasible. Normally, we don't use that much calculator. It's all done manually. You select your percentage by yourself. I completed to 30%, 4%. Earn 100% and the manager will. In real time, it goes to the review manager will see that, hey, he put 100%, but actually he has not done 100%. Normally, I will tell you what mainly is being used with respect to organizational goal. If anything is there with respect to organizational alignment, that is something which is used. Normal people do not use percentage complete as supporting initiative is there, private is used, calculated is not. Talking about the organization goals, only specific items are used. That's it. Because talking about the organization level goals, you can go in your system in production and you can check your organization goals. The goals will be pretty much brief. With respect to organization, all the companies have their own core values. Mainly talking about most of the organization, they use those core values as a part of their organization goals. That's all it is about. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.